Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday's morning meditation session. We've been reading all the comments in the sidebar this morning, and we can sense a certain amount of sadness that this is the last time Kyra Jewell is going to be teaching with us for the moment, anyway. Yeah, it's lovely to see all your lovely comments there. But just to stress that this isn't the end of the morning meditations. Martin will be leading them for the rest of June. And then after that, although we don't know what's happening, that's not to say that these are ending. We just genuinely don't really know what the plan is going forward, because this was always kind of something we were offering during lockdown, and clearly we can't know what's going to be happening in relation to that over the coming weeks and months. But things may well continue in one form or another, so hopefully that will mitigate your sadness a little. But also, we're sad about this as being the last time that Kyra Jewell's teaching with us for now as well. And Kyra Jewell, I'm sure I speak for everybody when I say how wonderful it's been over the last few weeks, and I know I'm really going to miss sitting with you. So thank you so much. I've got so much out of sitting with you and your teachings. So this morning the plan's going to be I think a little different, maybe not so much of a reflection at the beginning. We will have a meditation, and then there will be, I think, a little bit more time for questions. So as we mentioned yesterday, we wanted to offer you the opportunity to maybe ask more questions. Some of you maybe haven't had your questions answered. So Kyra Jewell will let you know a little bit more about exactly how long she'll dedicate to each section. But yeah, so that's going to be the plan for today. If you'd like to come on screen, we'd love to see you. Be lovely to put some faces to your names. Just let me know in the sidebar if you would like to come on and I can bring you on screen. Alternatively, you are also very welcome to put your question in writing if you prefer to do that. As always, please ask a question box under the video, because if you put it in the sidebar, it will probably disappear quite quickly, get lost amongst all the other comments. And also just to mention Dana, we have ongoing costs that I mention every day. We rely on you guys to meet those costs. So we'd be really grateful if you could donate something, if you're able to, whether it's small or large. It's very gratefully received. It all adds up, and it really does. It's what basically keeps this going and enables us to keep going. And the other thing I'd like to mention is that, sorry,
Carolyn, a lot of people are saying that the screen has frozen.
Okay, let me refresh.
Yeah. Okay. Carolyn has just refreshed, so hopefully that will solve the issue.
Okay, I'm back, I think. Can people see me? If you can let me know. Can you see me, Kyra Jewell? Yeah.
I can see you. I can hear you well.
Okay, sometimes it takes a few seconds for the comments to come up. I'm back. Great. Okay. If it's still frozen for you, then please try refreshing your browser. Some people will need to do that as well. So just
I'll put that in the chat.
If you can just refresh yourselves. So I'm not sure where I was, but I know that most of you will know what I'm saying this morning. So I'll just talk about Dana again, just because we do rely on you guys to keep this service that we're offering running every day. So we will really appreciate if you're able to offer anything, whether it's large or small. You can click on the offer donation / Dana button underneath the video screen there. And also just to stress, a little bit more than I normally do, that half of what you give does go towards supporting Kyra Jewel. And, you know, she also depends on Dana for a lot of her income, if not all of her income. So we'd be really grateful if you're able to offer anything. That would be wonderful. So thank you in advance for that. So yeah, for those of you whose screens are still frozen, please try refreshing your browser. Right, so I'm going to take myself off and hand over to Kyra Jewel.
Thank you so much, Caroline. And it's so good to be with you all again, and just so aware of how precious this time is together. Yes, just want to really thank you all for showing up here every day, and deep gratitude to Caroline. I've so enjoyed our time together. Each morning we get on 10 minutes or more early, and we have a chance to catch up and prepare, and just so appreciating you, Caroline, and each of you. I'll say more about this as we go along, but yeah, just I'm feeling very full in my heart as we begin today. And welcome to everyone and to everything and everyone. It seems like there's more issues this morning with things being frozen. I hope is it getting better? Okay, yeah, so I think it's just, okay, good. So my just very short reflection, and then we'll go into the meditation, and then we'll have a little more time, I guess, today for questions. And there's a question someone sent me by email that I'm gonna answer also when we get to that time. But I was reflecting on the last words of the Buddha when he was passing away, and he told his students to take refuge in the island of self, to take refuge in your own island and not in any other person or in any other thing. So his last teaching before he passed away was, we all have this capacity to awaken, and that's what we can take refuge in, our own practice, our own awareness, our own strength and power. So you know, my own experience of leaving the monastery and leaving my teacher, who is still my teacher, but I left being his, you know, in-person student. And then a year later, he had a stroke, which left him paralyzed on one side and unable to speak. And I was able to visit him very soon after that happened in the hospital with other monks and nuns. But I remember after he had his stroke and was no longer able to show up in the world with his voice and his, you know, his message through speech, but he's still teaching very much in his person. But I remember at that moment, which was in 2014 or 2015, I felt like I had a transmission from him that got deeper, where I felt like I really, now every one of his students, we have to manifest him even more in the world because he's not able to teach. And so I just feel his presence strong in me, and I feel like it got stronger in his students. And as I looked around at other people teaching, that we were digging deeper, we were having to find something within ourselves that we had always looked for in him. So if that's anything useful for all of us as we experience this separation from each other, it's like an opportunity to dig deep inside of ourselves and find more of what we were getting from someone else, to find more of that from inside of ourselves. And that's possible. And that is what the Buddha invited us to do. Yeah, thank you, Laura. That was 2014 when he had the stroke. So the other piece about taking refuge is that we also take refuge in the Sangha. We take refuge in the community, as we also take refuge in ourselves. And so, this community keeps going. It's going to keep meeting every day with Martin. And each of you, is going to keep showing up. So you're going to have each other to keep taking refuge in. And I may come and join you also as a student sometimes and listen to Martin. I like hearing his teachings too. So we're gonna stay together, and practice is going to continue, and we're going to keep deepening and growing. So it's beautiful. So let's do a practice, and then we'll have a little more ample time at the end for connecting with each other. I just, if we could be in person, my deep desire would be to have a tea ceremony or a tea meditation where we could all sit in a circle and see each other and have tea and cookies or some little snack and sing songs and maybe do a circle dance. I used to teach circle dances in our tea meditations in Plum Village. But I would love, if we were in person, to just be in a place where we could be still and then nourish our joy and tell each other stories and ask questions and connect and hold hands. So we will just create that virtually as best we can in this hour together. An intimate kind of connecting in this virtual meditation hall. Warmth and coziness and togetherness, knowing that we're always going to be together, no matter what. Okay, so finding your comfortable, dignified position that helps you to come into presence. And feeling your body. And feeling the weight of your body. Experiencing gravity that holds you close to the earth. It's a kind of embrace from Mother Earth. Feeling the support of the earth under you. Letting the weight of your body really release through all the points of contact of wherever you're being supported. As you breathe in and breathe out, allowing a releasing to happen of the weight of your body onto the earth, especially with the exhale. Any tightness or tension or strain just flowing out of you as you exhale. Just emptying yourself of what you don't need right now through each exhale. Just feeling it drain down through your body, down through your legs and out your legs and into the earth. Settling more and more into this place, this very spot on the earth where you find yourself. And really claiming your belonging right where you are. Inviting yourself to arrive fully in this place. And just really affirming there's no other place that you need to be right now than right here. This is your home in this moment. You're right where you need to be. And let that feeling soak into you, that you belong here. The earth wants you and is holding you close through this force of gravity and is supporting you, providing you with everything you need and all the support you need. And let yourself receive that and rest. And open to that feeling wanted, just as you are, by the earth. Open to feeling the rightness of who you are in this moment. There's no other way you need to be than the way you are right in this moment. The place that you're sitting on, there is space for you. There's no message coming from this place where you are telling you you should be different. You're accepted and cherished 100%. All of your accomplishments and strengths, all of your vulnerabilities, all of your pain It's wanted. There's space for it. There's space for you. Just breathe that in and let that fill you up. Let yourself occupy fully this moment. Being all of who you are. No need to hide. No need to defend. No need to make any excuses or apologize for yourself in any way. Opening to your own brilliance. The inherent radiance that's shining from you, from every pore of your skin, from every cell of your body. It's all welcome. It's all incredibly important and precious. The parts that are yet to be metabolized and understood and integrated, and all the parts of you that are already transformed and brought into the light. All of it is gold. Feel your body. Feel your breath. And just open to this glistening, this shining from within. A radiant heart, so pure, so vast, shining from within you. The light is so bright, it's blinding. And if you feel any resistance or doubt or some pushing away of this radiance, some voice that says, no, no, that can't possibly be me, letting that have space to be held within the radiance. There's space for that too. Letting this hum of goodness flow out from your heart, resonating, vibrating, embracing everything. Proclaiming widely everywhere, I belong here. I claim my own being. I take this precious life in my hands and I vow to live it deeply in each moment. Treasuring the preciousness of the breath. Treasuring the aliveness of my body. Singing the praise of this moment, the only moment I have to live. Dancing in the wonder of the present. The power of being alive. The abundance of blessings that have been bestowed upon me from the very beginningless time and continue to bless me, to enfold me into infinity. Letting the light within you shine, radiating endlessly without any boundary. The light from within you pervades into the whole universe, the hum of your heart, of your goodness, of your intrinsic worth and value and preciousness can be heard into the ends of the cosmos, which has no end. Feel the reverberations within you and moving all around you. The hum of your luminosity. No one can take this away from you. No life circumstance can make that light less radiant, can make the hum of your being less profound and pervasive. It's inviolable. And if you forget it, it keeps singing until you come back and remember it. It never forgets you. Rest in this. Trust in this. This radiance, this luminosity, it is your essence. It is your core. You couldn't get away from it even if you tried. And nothing you do or did or could ever do will change this radiance. It is your true home. Breathe and rest in the embrace of your true home. of the deepest belonging you have ever known. Allowing yourself to be rocked, cradled, held in the most profound gentleness by this inner radiance, the tenderest lullaby. Repeating over and over again how precious you are, how unique, unique in all the world, how wanted, how special. The kindest of eyes staring into yours, affirming what a blessing you are on this earth. Showing how much happiness you have brought by your presence. Just let this love flow in and all around you, all through you, and flow out from your heart, from all the pores of your skin. Breathing love in, breathing love out. Love everywhere. Reverence everywhere. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Sing with me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you for your beautiful practice, radiant beings. My heart is filled to the brim and overflowing as I sit here knowing we are in the ultimate dimension. We are sitting in a tea ceremony together, enjoying stillness and deep presence with each other. I hope you're enjoying the tea. So we'll move into some time for questions now. And I'm going to read a question to begin with that is from a friend from Italy. So I'll read her question and then I'll answer it. So our friend from Italy writes, in the last year, I have dedicated a lot of time to meditation, and I've observed how much I would like to stay alone and try to have time to stay with me, with my Sangha, with the Dharma. And I feel a crisis in my life because I would like to leave what I have. I'm separate and I live with my new companion. I love him, but I would like to stay only alone. Maybe, although we are going to live in our new house right now. With meditation, what is the limit of me that I have to listen? I like the boundaries. I'm suffering a lot and I don't understand if it's good to stay in this suffering or try to stay alone and live my current life. When I can understand what is the way in which I can love, when can I understand what is the way in which I can love myself more? I read that you passed through a similar period when you decided to leave monastic life. How did you listen to yourself? What guided you? I breathe. I'm mindful every day, but I lose it during the day. And every day I reach mindfulness and I lose it. So that's the question from our friend. Thank you for this question. So I think it's very human and normal that we find moments of mindfulness and then we lose mindfulness. So that is how it works. That's why we practice, is to strengthen the muscle of mindfulness so that we can be more and more mindful. But we don't want to have a tight expectation that we should be perfect and mindful in every moment, but a sense of our growing towards being more and more mindful throughout the day, and celebrating when we are mindful, and forgiving ourselves, being kind to ourselves and compassionate when we lose mindfulness. And as far as the question of whether or not to stay alone and practice more focused, or to stay with a partner, I think what I would say is it's not so important what you decide, but how you live. You can live with mindfulness and very dedicated to your practice. You can do that with a partner, and you can also be very dedicated to your practice if you live alone with your baby. Both ways can be good. Both ways could be right. The main thing is to look at, how do you live in your daily life? How do you live in the present moment so that the present moment nourishes you, so that you take in what's beautiful inside of you, around you, and the people around you. You help that to grow every day. You help the goodness in you grow. And that you're in the present moment so that when suffering arises, you can be there with your suffering. And when suffering arises in others, you can be there with their suffering. And you can do that. That's the main thing. That's really the only thing you have to do to live a good and wholesome and fulfilling life, is to be present with what's there, the beauty, to take care of the suffering, both in yourself and in others. And you can do that in whatever path you decide to take. So what if you held the situation which is causing you quite some suffering, as I read in your question right now, this trying to figure out which way to go. What if you held the question as, and to take off some of the pressure of like, one is wrong, one is right, I need to make the right decision, just to relax, to trust. Life is going to lead you where you need to go. And you just need to be in this moment. You don't need to figure out the next moment. Just be right here. Be with what's right now. If there's beauty, appreciate the beauty. If there's suffering, hold and meet the suffering with compassion. And life will let you know it's made of this moment. So take good care of this moment. Whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, take good care of this moment, and your future will be assured. You won't have to worry about your future. I hope that's helpful for you, my dear friend from Italy. Thank you for the question. There's a couple more questions, so I'll go to those. And if anyone does want to come on screen and ask a question, you can also come on screen. So this is Joanna. Just hopefully, Joanna, can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly, Joanna? Okay, I'll answer the question from Joanna, and hopefully you can hear the recording if the sound isn't coming through. Okay, good. It's good. So you said earlier this week you spoke about meeting our hurt and meeting our shame may be part of that. But I wonder if there's any more that you might say specifically about shame, as it seems very relevant to the current questions about race and human dignity. Yes, thank you, Joanna. I think there may be shame if we belong to a group that has privilege. There may be guilt. There may be a sense of other people who look like me are doing things on the basis of a shared identity of how we look, but that's not what I stand for, or that's not who I feel I am, and so it's painful. There's maybe a sense of guilt or shame at what people of our race, for example, may be perpetrating against other races, or what our ancestors perpetrated against other groups. That can be a shame that we have received from previous generations, an unhealed suffering that got transmitted. So it's very important to look clearly and see if there were wrongs that were done in the past, if there are wrongs that are being done now. We are all responsible for that. Whatever our identity, we're all connected to that. We all have a responsibility to live in ways that keep that harm from being perpetuated. Because if we don't say anything, if we don't take action in some way, then we're complicit. Silence becomes a kind of agreeing. It becomes a support if we don't speak out and say no. So if there is an experience of shame or guilt, that can be transformed into action. That can be transmuted into something wholesome, which is working or acting on behalf of those who have less privilege, who have less access to well-being. So it's important to go back and really reflect on ourselves and our ancestors. And as I mentioned, the book My Grandmother's Hands earlier this week, it's specific to the US, but I think there are helpful teachings in there that could be applicable if you live in another country, in another place, to really look at what's the trauma that might be there from my ancestors that I can work to heal in my life now. And there's also a really powerful practice called the 5 Touchings of the Earth. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh, and I'll put a link to it in the recording of this talk today, but you can just Google the 5 Touchings of the Earth, Thich Nhat Hanh, or just even the 5 Touchings of the Earth. And it's 5 practices for getting in touch with our ancestors, our blood ancestors, our land ancestors, our spiritual ancestors. And the 4th touching is for to transmit energy to those we love. And the fifth touching of the earth is to transmit our energy, our forgiveness to those who have hurt us. But we're reflecting on what it is that our ancestors have given us that we want to keep and build up, and what is the suffering that our ancestors have passed on to us that we want to release. And that can be a very profound practice of connecting with ancestors and releasing shame, releasing guilt, and healing the harms that our ancestors were part of, that we want to really say no to in this generation so that it doesn't get passed on to any future generations. So I would recommend that as a practice of healing racial trauma and healing intergenerational trauma. Thank you for the question. There's a question from Emma. I want to ask about these two places in myself that can create attention. The deep desire to commit to my choices that I believe affect the world around me, especially in the area of the natural world and our climate crisis, and practicing radical acceptance with how things are. This tension can arise when my loved ones do things that I perceive can add to the hurt of the world, and my tension is the desire to control. I'm happy to come on screen. If you'd like to, please do, Emma. And I will answer your question, because I think we've articulated it. Oh, thank you for putting a link to the 5 earth touchings too. So for those who have to go before, well, it is almost time, but I'm happy to stay on and do all my posts, all of your love. I'll keep it very much in my heart. And I hope we'll meet again on this path of practice. I do want to let you all know also, for anyone who has to go now, my website is kyrajewel.com. I send out a newsletter every month or two. If you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter. I can keep you updated on the many online activities that I'm offering, most of which are by donation, so there's no cost except Dana. So I hope we'll stay in touch. I would love to keep practicing with all of you and keep learning from each other. So stay in touch. So Emma, is Emma, are you able to come on screen?
Hi.
Go.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see you. It's nice to have a face to a name. So I'll just go right into the answer because I read out your question, if that's okay. So with this tension between we want to shift things and reduce the pain and suffering in the world, and then there's also this practice of accepting things as they are and being with things as they are, and then it gets even more complicated when there's people we love and they're doing things that we think aren't so helpful. And how do we hold all of that? So we want to work for change, for reducing suffering, and the best way we can manifest that is to be peace as we work for change, right? So if we're working for change out of frustration and impatience and resentment, that's not going to lead to the kind of outcome that we really ultimately want. So starting from a place of, can you still hear me? Because it's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I think the sound keeps going, even if it's showing a frozen image. So, we can bring into our work for change a sense of acceptance, even as we're working for
You froze.
change. We can be in a sense of peace.
No, it's freezing.
Caroline, I'm wondering, Caroline, can you hear me, Caroline? If maybe we should just have me
Yeah.
do the answer, because I think the two cameras might be messing with the sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you just put in the chat, Emma, if you can hear me? Can you all hear me now? Is the sound any better? Sound is good now? Okay. Okay, great. So Emma, working for peace, we have to be peace. So we look to see that those that are creating suffering, and we're a part of that, right? We're none of us has our hands clean, so we can be humble and somewhat compassionate, that very determined completely. We still want to help them. We still want to help nurture the seeds in them of causing less harm. But they'll only be open to us if we come to them with love, with acceptance, with understanding. If we judge them, even if we don't say it, but they might feel it and shut off and close down. So keeping our hearts as open as possible to see that they're doing the best they can, but they can still grow. We can all still grow. So modeling it in ourselves, like doing the things we can do to create less suffering, so that they see that it's possible, and holding a space of gentleness and acceptance that can take more steps like that, but not by telling them that they're wrong, but maybe more like asking them questions, finding out what they care about and learning, to be on their level of what they care about, and how can that care lead to more actions that can protect. So finding the doorway, maybe it might be a different doorway for different people as to what speaks to them in terms of caring and deepening the care and releasing the harm. It could be also in the form of giving them books, or taking them to retreats with you, or hearing talks together, or exposing them to things that can inspire them, that inspire you. Okay, there's a couple more questions coming in. Okay. Joanna My ex-husband refuses to talk to me since he has a new partner. We have 2 daughters. Should I continue to reach out to him or just let go? Thank you for this question, Joanna. I think one thing that could be helpful as a practice is the practice of loving kindness meditation, of communicating with him in you and expressing the care, the support, the wish for his well-being in your own meditation. And maybe if he doesn't want to connect with you, I don't know how long this has been going on, but maybe if he's not ready to be in touch, maybe not doing a lot of outreach, but perhaps just like a letter or something very, spacious, saying, if you ever change your mind, if you ever feel like you want to be in touch, my door is open. Just like that. Just that he knows you have no expectations right now, but if he would like to be in touch at some point, you'll be open to that. And then just doing your own work inside of you to forgive him, to hold your own pain around that, to be very intimate and kind and compassionate with the part of you that feels pain, that he's not able to connect with you right now. And then once sort of that top layer of more acute hurt is less there, or maybe it's already less there, then really just honoring him in your loving kindness meditation, with other, you can bring in other people, but maybe always when you do metta meditation, always send love to him, send care and kindness and friendliness to him, that one day his heart may open and there might be the possibility for communication again. And then being just very mindful of how you interact with your daughters as it relates to him, like nurturing the seeds in them of what you respect about him, what you care, what things you care about, or things you're grateful for in him, like watering in your daughters the good seeds of who he is, and because you want them to love and respect their father. And then one final piece is spreading good rumors. So maybe you write down 10 of his good qualities, and you make it a point to tell 2 or 3 other people in your circle of friends and acquaintances, tell them about his good qualities. Spread good rumors about him. That shifts energy in the field when we start to talk well about someone, and when we send them our loving kindness, it can shift things. But primarily we do it for our own heart, to shift and keep our own heart open, to keep our own heart big and vast. Thank you for the question. So a question from Tuhum, and then I think this will be the last one, and then we'll close. I know it's been a bit of a longer session today. In the meditation came to me the pregnant elephant who got killed by locals with pineapples stuffed with crackers. I can't feel my emotions. In my heart, my throat, it's a block. I dedicated the song to her and her baby, how to go through it. Thank you, Tuhum. Thank you for dedicating the song to her. I think that's one very skillful and wise strategy for moving through the pain of such a terrible act. If you feel the block in you, bringing care and compassion to the block. The block doesn't have to go away. There's nothing wrong with the block in you. Like opening, creating space around that block to just let it be here. That sense of pain that can't be felt, just knowing, okay, there's a blockage here. I surround this blockage with care and kindness, and really try to feel into what that feels like. What's the quality of the sensation in the body of the blockage? Where do you feel it in your body? You could journal about it. Just bring us a softness, a care, almost like you're just, caressing tenderly this blockage in you. Like, it's okay that you're there. Just let me be here with you. I'll hold you. I'll let you be here. I'll get to know you. So notice how it shifts and changes. Maybe it moves around in your body. Maybe it goes more intense, less intense. So just bring that sense of attentiveness to it, and make it like an object of your meditation, to really get to know, what does this block feel like? How does it change? And see what happens, No expectations about what will happen. Just let it be here. And, and if there's any perhaps way to express your compassion for the elephant by, doing some action on behalf of other elephants in that area, maybe signing a petition or offering a small donation. There's things we can also do concretely to show our love and our wish to protect. So maybe there's some action you can do that can also help you to feel like your emotions have a way to flow out and really support other animals to be more protected. All right. Well, we are at time, and I'm gonna sing you a song to finish. This is a song we sing in our Plum Village tradition when it's the end of a retreat or the end of a time together. It's called No Coming, No Going. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me. Because I am in you and you are in me. So I'm taking all of you with me and holding you in my heart, and you're going to keep me warm and cozy inside, and I hope you'll take me with you and know that I am with you, and keep me in your heart so that you can be cozy and warm. And I'm sure we'll be together continuing on this path. And thank you deeply. I bow deeply to each of you for your practice, for your commitment, for your inner light that's taking you on this path of waking up step by step. I bow deeply to our Sangha, this is called the 3 gems, the 3 jewels. One of the jewels is a Sangha, and this whole community is shining radiantly. It's a jewel. So I've benefited so much from these days with you. It's been, I think, 5 or 6 weeks we've been together. I'm so grateful. It's made my experience of lockdown much more beautiful, much easier. So thank you. Thank you for my love, my highest wishes for your fulfillment, your well-being, your ease, your safety, your happiness, your peace. Thank you all.